Hello. Oops. Hello. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Moving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. Totally forgot to plug your shit in. If it's not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, it's time for your glow up, Pisces. This reading is going to be for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Also for your cross watchers. Also for people who find themselves on this video without any Pisces anything. All right, let's get started. Let's get started by getting the cards ready. A lot of stuff tends to come up during periods of purging. Yeah, a lot of stuff that you thought you had already dealt with, stuff that you believed you had already grown through, lessons you finished, levels of growth you thought you accomplished, only to realize you haven't grown as much as you thought. You know, you haven't. And it's good to recognize how much you have grown, but it's also even better to hold space for more growth. So that's what's happening right now, more growth. There's a lot of shifting and changing when it comes to your internal waters. Oh shit, that's a message. Now, I don't know how accurate this is, like oceanically. Oceanically speaking, I don't know how accurate this is, but Michael was showing me, like, so the tides might change, but tides are superficial. That's the superficial stuff that changes. The deep sea currents, they always flow the same way. That's what he's saying. So underneath all of that, you are who you are. You've always been. That hasn't changed. It's simply your perception of who you are in every given moment, every given circumstance that keeps changing. Like if you have these insecurities about people, people might think that I'm annoying. People might think that, and yeah, I am sometimes. That's okay. People might think I'm annoying. People don't want to talk to me. Those are things that those are insecurities that have been there like since forever. Okay, you've had that there. That's part of your deep current. But like the way you shift, you're like, oh, I feel confident today. That's more of the tides, okay? And that's always going to shift. It's always going to flow and shift. So, okay. Guilt. Wow. Card number 8, guilt. Wow. That wow. that got me sat down and quiet for a second. So this guilt does not necessarily indicate that you've been doing people wrong. This is guilt that you feel probably because you finally are recognizing all the different ways and all the different times you haven't shown up for yourself, where you've allowed yourself to volunteer to be someone else's doormat. Pisceans have a tendency to do this. Let's just be honest. We do. We have a tendency of doing this. And then for some of us, those of us who are not balanced, we have a tendency to overreact and like lash out at, I don't know, lash out at people who are easy to lash out at. And then we feel bad. We feel bad because now we feel mean. Like, oh my God, I shouldn't have been mean to them. But we're failing to recognize that we need to follow the root of that. We need to follow the string and take that behavior all the way to its root. Oh, someone else did something to me, and now I'm lashing out at a different person, someone who's safer, someone who maybe won't react in a confrontational way. I mean, Pisceans are kind of weird. We kind of weird in the way we handle our stress, you know? Yeah, it could be ones you love. I'm so guilty of this. My husband is such a safe space for me that if someone pisses me off online, he'll be like, "Hey, what do you want for lunch? The fuck are you asking me?" No, I don't say that. I'm joking. I won't talk. I won't talk, and I'm like sitting there pouting, and he's like, "What's wrong? What are you mad about now?" Nothing. Something's wrong. What are you mad about? Nothing. Because it's like it don't even have to do with you. It don't even have to do with you. Why you keep asking me? That's when I get mad at him, you know. But you know damn well if he don't ask me what's wrong and keep poking and poking and poking, and be like, oh, this motherfucker don't even care. He don't even notice that I'm upset. It's a no win kind of situation. And why is that? Why is that? Because I know without a shadow of a doubt, this man is such a safe space for me in my heart to be the fucking brat that I actually am. You know, I tell you, I don't think any other person in this world could tolerate my shit the way that man does. So now he's safe. And now, you know, he's like the basket that catches my attitude as it falls. It's a wonderful thing to be able to be loved by someone who gives you the freedom to be yourself without telling you to be yourself. It's just a given, like you can be yourself, you know. Not everyone has that, you know, but maybe it's time for you to begin creating space for that type of person to enter your life. Maybe it's time for that. Maybe that's what your glow up is. Like, he makes me glow. Ooh. He does though. How many people can you say that about? Where they make you glow. Just thinking of them makes you glow. How many? And what if for those who are like, oh, I've never had that, I'm never gonna have that. Well, maybe if you shift the mindset, you know, like allow yourself to like hold space for the people who can love you in that way, without any agendas, no, none of that. I wonder if maybe that might happen, you know, and maybe it's not something that's romantic. Maybe it's a friendship where you could just be you. You don't have to hide stuff. That's definitely a lot of things to consider. Whatever you're feeling deep in your ocean's trenches, that current that runs through, it's causing you to feel like you're an outsider. It's causing you to feel like it's just, you know, no one understands me, no one, yada yada yada, all the, you know, the shit you say when you feel like an outsider. You know, the stuff you say in your head quietly to yourself. You know what that is. I don't need to reiterate it. We all basically say the same types of things to ourselves, thinking we're the only one that's struggling through it, and it's just not the case. It is just not the case, you know. um So the creator, you are the creator of your circumstance. Okay, you're co-creating things. Now, people might serve as triggers because, you know, it's not fair to say, oh, you created that argument when you were just minding your own business. They're being used as triggers to bring you to specific areas that still need your attention. So in that sense, you are definitely co-creating, okay? It's a co-creation that's going on. Let's get the next deck. Okay. So I recognize at this point, for me personally, and you might resonate with this, I'm recognizing a lot of the things that I do, that I did, that I still do, that I probably will continue to do for a bit longer. It's actually the very thing that leads to that elevated struggle a little later on. Maybe if I just spoken up and said something like, hey, you know, you said or did something that kind of upset me and this is what it is. And, you know, instead of just like being mute, like whatever, no, nothing. Then maybe it wouldn't become something that's such a big deal a little later on. Like, a few days from then, a week from then, whatever it is, you know? So let's see. Okay. It's time for you to open your arms for your abundance, your love, your support, all of that. Open your arms to receive all of that, okay? Open your arms. You don't have to continue to exist in a state of oblivion. You don't have to continue to exist in a way where it's like you feel as though really nobody cares, nobody sees, nobody bothers to find out. Um, I'm at a point where it's like if I don't say anything, it's kind of just like I just don't want to deal with it at this point. I have other things. I have other things that are more pressing, and I will get to that lesson when it's nice and ripe. When it's nice and ripe, I'll get to that lesson. And then, there's this thing that sometimes, before, what used to happen is I would have that where, I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm just going to be quiet. I don't want to talk about it. Don't ask me. And then it becomes this thing of, if you ask me, I'm going to be irritated. It's going to piss me off more. Like, why do you keep talking about it? But then if you don't ask me, it's like, oh, so you just don't give a shit. Y'all never going to win with a Pisces. It's true. It's true. I know I'm not the only Piscean that does this. It's like you want to talk about it, but you don't. You have to talk about it, but you can't. You know what I'm saying? So, and this happens from like every freaking aspect and angle of your life and connections with other people. What are you going to do? I don't know. What do you want me to do? I mean, I don't know. You haven't figured it out? You haven't put enough effort into it. Well, I've been thinking about, so now you're obsessed about it. Fucking Pisces. That's what we do. We're really good at that. I don't know if that can be a professional career of some kind, but we would excel at that. So now you have to reveal your gifts. Your gifts are tied into your ability to understand on such a deep level. When you pull yourself, your personality, all 10 of them, plus your emotions out of that. You have to be able to detach yourself emotionally, even just temporarily, so that you can assess what's really going on. It is absolutely a defense mechanism. It is. So what happens with Pisceans, it's just like when you hook a fish, when you're deep water, deep ocean, deep sea fishing. I don't know if you've ever seen those videos of people deep sea fishing. It's like, what the fuck? They're not going to just give up real easy. So they're going to try and swim very, very, very deep in the hopes that that string will break. Okay. Your fishing line has to have the proper amount of poundage in order to tolerate this. Connections that are very thin, that are lightweight, they'll snap. And I think part of why Pisceans do this is to test the weight of the line. Like, can you take it? Can you take the depth? And, when people don't let go, whether it's relationship, friendship, family, work, Pisceans, you can't keep doing the same thing. Pisceans, you can't keep doing the same thing. Michael says, say it again, but this time listen to your words. Whatever. Okay. Feel loved and proud. Allow yourself to feel loved and proud. Allow it. What's wrong with being loved? Well, it creates an unsafe feeling. Oh, did you realize that? How many of you can resonate with that? That when you are loved, if you haven't allowed yourself or had the opportunity yet to feel very loved, unconditionally loved, no restrictions, no none of that. That shit's scary. Why is it scary? It gives you the opportunity to finally be held in such a safe space that you can look at your wounds. So Michael's giving me this visual we're in a war and, you know, lots of bullets flying everywhere. You're so heavily wounded, but you can't stop and check your wounds. Just pack it, pack the wound and keep going, keep going. You have to find a safe space to stop. Okay. You can't stop there in the middle of the war. You have to go somewhere else. You have to find somewhere safe to stop. And once you finally find a place that's safe, that's quiet, you can assess the wounds on your body. It's scary because shit, there's so much blood. Am I going to die? Am I not going to survive this? That's a scary thing. It's a scary thing to assess it. But in order for you to get through that, you have to. You have to. And the scariest part is like, all right, it hurts. There's a lot of blood. I don't know if it's a flesh wound, because there's some flesh wounds that will bleed profusely, but they're not deep cuts. Anything with the scalp, tiny cut, you'll bleed profusely. And it's going to be hard to get it to stop. But is it like an artery or a vein that's bleeding out? You won't know unless you assess it. So there's this fear of like, am I mortally wounded or is this a flesh wound? Well, Pisceans and those who are resonating, first off, your soul is immortal. It's immortal. There's no mortal wounds. And whatever mortal wounds were sustained by the consciousness, lay that part of you to rest. It's probably outgrown its purpose, and it's probably time for that part of you to be laid to rest and a new part to be allowed to come forward. So when a king or queen dies during their reign, do we just ignore the fact that they've died? Do we do that? No, we don't. Their successor has to come in. And as that successor, as they still find their footing and they're still kind of unsure, you know, there's a lot of learning that's done in the very beginning. There's a lot of adjustments. So when the old you has a spiritual death and the new you is forced to come forward, there will be an adjustment period. There will be some discomfort. There will be some lack of confidence in your decisions, in your the details of your path, like all of that. It's just one of those things where we expect so much of ourselves. Okay, so look at a newborn, right? Like freshly born, fresh out the oven, all wrinkled and stuff. Are you like, when are you going to crawl? And then takes a few months to get to that crawling. When they start crawling, why aren't you walking? Like, are you kidding me? You don't fucking do that to a baby. You don't do that to a baby. So why do you do that to yourself? You are still in the infancy of your consciousness. You are barely crawling right now. You've just, I mean, like most of us, let's be very real. We're not even crawling yet. We've just gotten to a point where we can hold our head up. It's not like floppy. You can finally hold your head up. Okay, well, that's a key thing. It's not that you're behind. It's that you need to now recognize you have the ability to see, to be able to direct what you're looking at. Oh, right there. So it's right under the table. Don't force yourself to try and run when you barely starting to hold your head up.
Oh, that hurt me.
You could have went from the front. It's easier to reach it.
Oh, shoot.
So everything is clicking into place. Good. That's what we want. Oh shit! I wasn't supposed to put this part.
Oh, yeah. What are you guys doing? No.
Sorry. I don't know. It just saw my face. Let me get the other cards. Oh my god. Okay. Here it goes. Because I'm like, holy shit, don't allow. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, stop. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. We are getting there. First you have to pack your bags, okay? Card number 12, every journey starts with a single step. And that first step is recognizing you need to take your bags and get ready. This is a place within yourself where you are needing to decide what baggage are you taking with you and what's in those bags. What's in there? Old traumas that were supposed to be transmuted into fuel for your rise, but never was. Is it just a bag of rocks? Oh God, I carry with me a bag of rocks. Like a few months back, I handed my purse to one of my siblings. I was like, can you put this on the couch? And he held it. He's like, this is a fucking bag of rocks. Don't look inside, bro. Don't look inside, because it is. What are you going to carry with you? Unnecessary weight? But here's the thing. Is it unnecessary weight? One of the most effective workouts that I had while I was living in the RV for like 3 years or so. I obviously can't have a gym set in the RV. I couldn't really have like dumbbells or barbells either. We don't have space for that. So what did I do? It's basically like a TRX band. And I also had a rucksack that carried about 70 pounds, 70, 75 pounds. And I would just use that and my own body weight. Your own weight is a very thing that you could use to improve your strength, your health, spiritual as well as physical. Some added baggage. It actually serves to grow you. So long as you're using that weight, that extra baggage, as a weight that that creates enough resistance to further your growth, that will work. But it's not going to work the way it should if you're not using proper form. You can't just be throwing this weight around. You can't just throw your weight around, because that's how you end up creating circumstance that ends up hurting you, injuring you. I've had plenty of people over the course of this public visibility. If I wasn't forced to live stream by my soul several years back, you'd never see me live stream. I've never posted a video of myself up until the point I was forced to live stream. No one had ever heard my voice speaking, much less singing. I've never posted a video. The best you're going to get, maybe once or twice a year, is some random behind the scenes image of me taking care of children. Because I just don't, that's not my thing. And now I'm recognizing I was hiding myself away. And when I got through that lesson of no longer needing to hide myself, then came the next basic lesson, knowing what to do with the weight of me. Because in the time that I've been publicly visible, I've had a generous amount of individuals trying to encourage me to throw my weight around, like to flex just because I can. Like, girl, show them. Show them what? What I can do is for the work I'm supposed to do. It's not to show off. And that's what makes it very, very difficult to corrupt me in that way. Like, I'm not interested in looking like a badass. Like, some people will say, oh, you're so badass. No, I'm just highly sensitive. I'm highly sensitive and I become combative. When I feel like you're trying to threaten me or dominate me, my go-to knee-jerk reaction, my coping mechanism, okay, I'll be combative. You're not going to get very far with that. I'm not going to let you, because behind that is something so sensitive and fragile. The part of me that I actually am is a very sensitive, very, very fragile person. So I'm going to fucking protect that as much as possible. This is the very reason I have trust issues. The very reason Oh, wow. Mm, mhm. But see, here's the thing, like, when you keep going out of your way to protect those very delicate parts of you, what ends up happening? That well-intentioned attempt to defend, to protect, to hide away ends up hiding you away and becoming that emotional and mental prison. Um, and tearing down those walls, like taking a sledgehammer to your walls of coping, the walls that were erected to help you feel safe in this very, very intense life. Tearing those down is like an attack on the self. It's an attack on the self. What good does that do? Wouldn't it be a better thing to be able to just like, hey, let's take this down brick by brick. Let's see how it was constructed first so the wall doesn't topple on you as we take it down. And we're not going to take it down from the bottom on up. That's like asinine. And play Jenga on your own. Let's see how far that goes. Okay, let's play Jenga. Start with a very bottom, very, very bottom. You get very unstable very, very quickly. But if you allow yourself to move pieces up higher, remove those first, and work in some sort of um, haphazard order, where it doesn't have to be brick one, brick two, brick three. No, like, first layer, some of the second layer, just kind of figure it out, whatever draws you, pull that out, but reassess after every pull, your sense of stability, your sense of self. Card number 26, relax the hold of darkness and be at cause. It's that tornado, it's that whirlwind type, very confusing, disorienting energy. Something wants you to be disoriented, confused, questioning, feeling unstable, unsupported. Remember, Pisceans, we are going through a period of purging. We should call this the Piscean purge season. Oh, are we still in Scorpio? Is that what the fuck it is? Hold on. What's the date? Oh, girlfriend's dog food should be arriving. How long does Piscean season last? It feels like shit's ramping up. Hold on. No, not Piscean. Scorpio season. Scorpio season. So October 23rd to November 22nd. Feel the pride of the sign and fully embody. Oh, I don't know why I clicked on this. Who are Scorpio attracted to? Scorpios are deeply attracted to Leos since they enjoy being with someone who wants to commit to a real relationship. Leos are quick to give them all of the time and attention they could possibly ask for, and both signs enjoy every minute of it. And then there's Pisces. Let's just leave it at that. Okay. How do you survive a Scorpio season? Keep things private. Get in touch with your body. Tap into your dark side. Push through and finish your projects. Let the bad go and begin to build towards the new. Take time to think about what you really desire. Pay attention to your dreams and signs from the universe. Meditate on death. That's where we're going to leave that. Yeah, there's some part of you needs to die. The Scorpio that is in the air right now. It's Scorpio season. It is begging. I'm joking. I'm joking. What do you call it? There is part of you that does need to die, though. Just not all of you. A part of you that is preventing your growth. The part of you that's really, really not allowing for you to go deeper into your truth. Michael says there's something else, and to scroll down. What? Okay. So the Scorpion is the most deep and intense sign of the zodiac, but 2020 Scorpio season is actually a bit mellower than usual. Okay, maybe we don't need to like die. Let's see. What else? No, that's the bottom. I'm not scrolling back up. You said scroll down real quick. You never said anything about having to scroll back up. I don't think so. Relax the whole darkness. We kind of dove a little too deep into that dark pool of card number 6. I think as you dive deeper into yourself and your truth, and you really allow yourself to recognize some of your coping mechanisms, recognize some of the things you do that cause you to be unnecessarily harsh on yourself. I think that's a big realization, you know, a huge realization. Am I glitching? Can you guys hear me and see me? I got all. I'm sorry. All this talk about Scorpio had my energy surging. Just had my energy surge. Nothing wrong with Scorpions. Scorpio energy is just very intense for me when I receive it. A certain type of Scorpio energy is very, very intense for me. All right, let's see. Okay, I'm good now. Yeah, and it's not like a bad type of intensity. It's just intense. It has the ability to reach much deeper, much further than other frequencies. And so what ends up happening is I'm looking like I got into a, I don't know. Now I'm totally off balance. And that's the effect of Scorpio on Pisces. There you go. There you go. Like, yeah, I don't know what to say at this point. Let me just shuffle the cards and move on. Look at all these walls I built. Baby, they're tumbling down. Didn't even put up a fight. Didn't even make a sound. Found a way to let you in, but I never really had a doubt. Standing in the light of your halo. Okay. 4 of Summer, being distracted. Being distracted and failing to see a magical opportunity, taking someone or something for granted, discontentment with life. Did you take someone or something for granted? Was there something from the past, maybe recent past, maybe further past? I don't know, something that, oh, Pisces, shit. There's this thing that I'm being shown where it's like, I guess maybe someone miscalculated with you. Maybe they thought that they would get a different result, a different reaction, a different outcome with you by doing something. And it's like, yeah, they really grossly miscalculated. They didn't take into account the way Pisceans can tap into all the other zodiac signs that come before it. We are the chameleons. You know, people will be like, oh, you're so fake. I've never, well, actually, no, I did just get called fake. I think it was yesterday or maybe the day before. I did have someone say that I was fake. Yeah. It was hilarious. So maybe not only did they miscalculate you, maybe Pisceans, when we get pissed off, like really, really hurt, we're like, well, fuck it, you don't exist then. Fuck it. I'm not listening to anything. I'm not gonna, whatever. You don't exist to me anymore. It's done. It's just done. It's not gonna be resurrected. You ain't Jesus Christ. It's not coming back. But then at the same time, I think maybe Pisceans failed to recognize that energy didn't actually leave. And it's probably never going to leave. is probably going to remain intact, but unrecognized. So when you feel like, I don't know what's going on, I don't know like why I'm feeling this way. Oh, I see where this is going now. I see where this is going now. Let me I see where it's going. Some of the thoughts that you've been having, some of the struggles, some of the like, I feel something, I feel somebody. That has to do with whatever and whoever this energy is that's in your field. Drink my fucking coffee. I'm just all right. So discontentment with life. It's I'm shaking now. I'm so fucking all right. The discontentment with life, the message I'm being given is that if you're feeling discontent and you don't know why, it's because you and whatever that energy is, they're both feeling discontent. And that might be because there were things that still needed to be learned. There were unfinished lessons. Unfinished lessons that continue to pop back up. But it's like, okay, Michael's giving me yet another example. If you have a group project at school, you all have to do your part, right? Each member of that group has to do their part so that you can complete the project and everyone can get their grade. Now, if the two who are the presenters, it's a partnership. It's not a group project. It's a group project that involves only two people. I think I'm agitating myself. Michael asked me, am I agitating you? I think I'm agitating myself. You're really considerate today. Thank you for asking. If those partners won't talk to each other, how are they going to complete the project? And this is the big question. If you're partners for a school project, do you have to be romantic? Boom. No. But you do have to have some type of communication. So I think what's going on is some either like telepathic communication. It's some sort of communication. I don't know what kind. Now you're agitating me. He says, I wasn't going to say anything, but he says, you said that personal conversations between us don't need to be shared. This is not a personal conversation at this point. And he said, I do know, I just don't want to know. Hold up. Okay. Apparently I do know, I just don't want to know. Whatever this communication is, it's probably telepathic. It's probably heart-based. It's probably like recognition of, I don't know what. Yo, I'm not the best person to give this message to you guys. I'm really not. I'm really not, because these are the types of things that I try my best to just avoid. Like the things you want to avoid. I'm doing this to calm myself down because I thought this was about a glow up. All right. I'm calm enough. Let's move forward with the reading. Four of Spring. Be grateful. You have much to celebrate. Deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. Oh, that's one hell of a fucking message. So, okay. Okay. All I saw was like the fairy lady, right? All I saw was her. She's kind of just looking out into the distance, and maybe she's contemplating things. Maybe she's contemplating life, decisions, yada yada yada. Michael says I missed a detail. Okay. There's something or someone right there begging for you to notice. There's a lack of communication, like verbal, oral communication. But the presence is detected. The presence is felt. It's something that you've been feeling. That's what you're feeling. Something is trying to communicate with you. Before you get too happy about twin flame stuff, it might not be the person. It might just be the higher self. Boom. What's up with that? That means maybe the human being. Okay. Michael says that like someone is trying to get your attention, that might be their higher self. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the human being, the human consciousness that's thinking of you and wants to talk to you and stuff like that. That might just be the higher self. The human being might still not want anything to do with you. Michael says to state, and I quote, heavy emphasis on might, with quotation marks, might. Yeah, this can be a higher self type of connectivity. It could be. But what happens, and I think maybe this is still the higher selves, the one who acts more infantile, finally experiences growth, and they can stand face to face and look forward together. It's like some Disneyland shit. They can look forward together. So, and that can be looking forward together with the higher selves fully aligned once again. It doesn't necessarily mean that the human being will be trying to message you, trying to call you, showing up at your door. None of that. For some, I think enough has happened that that's probably never going to be a possibility. I think there's enough history between the two of you that, yeah, maybe there's too much pride. Maybe there's too much hurt. Maybe there's too much that was left unsaid that created too much of a distorted story within each of you separately, creating your own stories within your own heads that have built a wall that's just not coming down. Maybe not in this lifetime. Who knows? Who knows? Cut from the same cloth, but the thing is, you're cut. That means you're no longer part of that. That means you now have the capability of being constructed into something completely separate from it. And it has to be a decision to sew the pieces together. And it has to be sewn in such a way that makes it functional. You can't just take two scraps and sew it together as a lump. Because not only does that make something that's pointless, you also stand a very real potentiality. If you don't have commercial grade equipment to sew that together, you're probably going to break your needle. And if that needle breaks, how do you continue to create new things that are functional and necessary for your existence? You don't. And that's what happened when a lot of people began picking up on the twin flame. They did the same shit with a soulmate back in the 80s. They did the same thing with a soulmate. And what ended up happening, they took two lumps of cloth, smashed them together, tried to sew it like that without flattening things out, straightening it, aligning it, and it broke the needle. And so what ends up happening? When you're faced with another cloth, you're still stuck in a jumbled heap and a needle broken. How do you connect with someone else? Oh, but I'm always going to love them. You can love them with healing yourself. Thank you, Pink Gypsy. You can still love someone and heal yourself and allow someone else to love you and develop a relationship with them. I tell you, so my twin ray has jumped body a few times. I met the first one, or maybe it's a shard or a mirror of the twin ray, because you only have one, right? I met I identified this person as a twin ray energy. I met them right before I met my husband, and that really, really affected me. It was a very short-lived, when we were actually in a relationship. It was short-lived, and that was short-lived. But the hurt of that was prolonged for a very long time. It was a very prolonged hurt. And why do people need to know that? Okay. So there's no real way of me confirming this because I don't keep in touch. So I don't know. But Michael says that hurt still continues to exist for that person, because why? Because why? That's a decision they made, right? That's personal shit. Like, we don't need to talk about any of that in a live stream. What he's talking about right now. So the second part of what he was saying is that I was able to go ahead and eventually move forward because of the fact that I met and connected with a person who had their own needle. And they were able to help me realize, okay, if we flatten out this ball of fabric, it can be more usable. You don't scrunch into yourself and form a ball to protect yourself. Like, you're fine just as you are. Flatten it out and see. And so that's what happened. That's what helped me to move forward and heal from it. You know, they want you to stay be. What song is that? Want you to stay. Please don't deliver messages through songs. Sometimes the higher self of the twin ray does. It will use songs and that shit off. Turn it off. Turn it off. No, I'm joking. That was intense. Okay, card number 21, the world. A brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, a journey that's now complete. There you go. Oh, look, she has 2 needles. Oh, shit, girl. I didn't even recognize that. She has 2 needles. Ah! She has 2 needles. A brilliant success. You can heal past whatever happens in your life. You can heal past that. The same lessons will be brought back to you when you're ready to learn it on a much deeper level, a much, much, much deeper level. Much deeper level. No, that's like super private stuff. Like, I have no problem talking to my husband about that. I mean, it doesn't relate to us at this point, but oh my God. This card just flipped itself over. Card number 14, denial. Okay. Moving forward. Okay. Michael is just a fucking dick today. I thought you were being considerate. It was your problem. So, denial and success. He had me show you those 2 cards because you guys see, there's things I'm still in denial about regarding my growth. I don't want to, I guess, I was just repeating what he was saying. He was saying you don't want to grow in that way yet. I didn't realize I didn't want to grow in that way. And it's not all of me that doesn't want to grow. It's like certain fragments of me don't want to grow in that way yet. It has nothing to do with the relationships, romance. It's about the parts of me that are still heavily injured from so many lifetimes of these same cycles repeating over and over and over again. So, you know, there are things that all of us deny ourselves. It's not always about the romance that we're being in denial about. Oftentimes the romance portion of it just adds an extra layer of like, what the fuck? But it doesn't necessarily have to do with the romance, because romance is limited to human existence. It's a human existence type thing. And what you're talking about, or what we are talking about in this live stream, is something that actually transcends human existence. This is about such a strong soul connection on such a high level. Oh my God. Trauma bonding. Are you talking about trauma bonding? I don't think that has to do with what I'm talking about right now. Yes, a spark level. Gosh, this is just super intense, super duper intense. Okay. So you've been holding your own hand. You've been holding yourself back. And I say this because you're preventing yourself from summoning your own magic. And sometimes there are other people who have to be brought to you, where your paths cross, in order for you to recognize your magic. Okay. Part of the reason, the last relationship I had before I met my husband, that was a very significant relationship, even though it was very, very short-lived, because that was actually my first encounter with that twin race spark. It was like a precursor to it. And that's the very thing that triggered me to enter a place within myself where I was being prepared to do this 20-year process of healing quite a few wounds. I mean, I still have plenty of wounds that exist that need to be healed. Look, my fucking vein is starting to pop out. Oh my God. Let me just push that fluid back through. Okay. Okay, we're gonna just calm down. Girl, it's not worth it. It's not worth it to get that fucking riled up. He didn't really do actually anything wrong to you. He just hurt your feelings. It hurt my feelings because I've never had anyone break up with me. And I'm pretty sure he was, no, it's not, I'm pretty sure, I know for a fact, he thought that he would say something to make me feel like he was breaking up with me so that I would just kind of chill out, because there was stuff that was going on. Little did he know, once I walk away, you're gone. He thought he was going to come back in a few weeks and be like, hey, now I'm working. No, I don't think so. We're not friends. So, okay. Now that my veins are calmed. There we go. Yeah, deceit. So there was a lot of things that maybe you're lying to yourself about. Maybe someone lied to you. Maybe there's a lot of stuff that needs to happen where you need to let go of your own hand. It's like you're trying to walk yourself home. You don't need to hold your hand in order for you to walk. You can walk with your hands separated. It's almost like this sense of like not wanting to receive. You're like, nope, I don't have the ability to receive anything. My hands are clasped very tight. You need to allow yourself to let that magic re-enter. And sometimes that magic will not re-enter unless you're triggered in a way that allows for that to happen. It's trauma-induced accretion. It really, really is. For many years, I really thought that this individual caused me to be so fractionated that there was really no way that I could have a long-term relationship after that, because I already had trust issues. I tell you guys that. Um, and really, all it was a blessing. It was a blessing in that um, all my reluctancy and my fighting this connection that I knew was developing between my husband and I, it gave me that much more appreciation after we finished the earlier parts of our relationship. So sometimes we have to recognize it's not the twin that we're supposed to end up with. Sometimes the twin does all this like really destructive shit. I'm not saying all twins are destructive, but like whatever their presence does, it creates so much destruction within yourself, because these are the places where you need to be destroyed. These are the places where you're holding on to toxicity within yourself, and that needs to be taken out. It needs to be taken down, removed, like pulverized, obliterated. And I think that's what that relationship did. It obliterated so many different parts of me. And that that process, I mean, granted, it took several years, not for me to get over the relationship, but to get over all of these things that came up within myself, because I met my husband not too long after. We probably would have gotten back together if I didn't meet my husband. That's what fucked it up. He found me. Yeah, no, he found me. And then I started hanging out with him. It's like all within a few weeks. And then the person was like trying to come around. Sorry, I'm not that kind of girl. Sorry. Yeah, no. So let's just do final few cards, okay? And I gotta go. Yeah, that was years ago. Oh my gosh, years ago. There we go. One more. All right. Ooh, wait. Oh, wait. There was the world card had come upside down. Hold on. So, imperfection, failure to complete the task one starts, lack of vision. So part of and I already shoved the cards in the deck. Part of the message from that stack that I just completed, if you only see what you want to see and not allow yourself to see the truth of what's actually going on, the truth of the connections you're building, or the connections you've released, that's going to really, really affect the way you process and learn. Okay. And it's not necessarily that you have to allow someone to forever be a part of your life. It's that you have to allow the process of learning that was sparked by that individual. And sometimes that process of learning will cause you to reconnect again later on. Sometimes that process of learning is about you just letting that go and focus on your learning. Okay. So, Page of Wands in reverse, indecision, reluctance, instability, a gossip, bearer of bad tidings, a person who may break your heart. Let me read that again. Excuse me, a person who may break your heart. So, part of your glow up is actually glowing. And when you keep allowing yourself to be harmed, to be hurt because of your expectation, that leads to disappointment and all of this, that redirects the energy that you would use to glow. It redirects it to kind of heal the parts of your heart that become broken. So some heartbreak is necessary for growth, but consistent heartbreak, girl, we just really have to figure out for ourselves, is this just something that's going to continue to hurt me? Because if it is, stop. I mean, there's no other advice. Just stop. Stop. It's like, oh, Emmie, the wall keeps burning me. The wall keeps burning me. What do I do? What do I do? Stop. Why the fuck you keep touching it if it's burning you? Well, I don't know. It keeps burning me. I can't stop. That's there's nothing that needs to be said aside from stop. Needing more confidence. Knight of Cups. An invitation or opportunity may soon arise. Advancement, attraction, inducement, challenge, proposal. Something's being induced. It's your rebirthing. I'm wondering if you got stuck down your spiritual canal. You got stuck. And now they're needing to induce the labor. Oh, shit. That means... Inducing the labor makes me feel as though there's going to be a triggering that occurs. Remember, this is a period of purging. There's a triggering that might occur for that to circle back around. Whatever it was that you had paused your learning of, and I don't feel like this was paused recently. I think this was paused some time ago. That's going to circle back around. It might circle back around through a different person. It might circle back around with the same individual. Oh, that's going to be crazy. So years, way, double-digit years later after that first fractal of the twin ray was kind of ousted, I met another fractal, and that was a very, very intense fractal. The connectivity and within the brain was freaking intense. So yeah, I'm being told it's going to intensify if it is another person. Well, I hope we get along then. Shit. How we get along, because I'm intensifying my damn self. Oh, fucking narrow-mindedness. Maliciousness, deceitfulness, vengefulness, a treacherous enemy, an ill-tempered person. Oh, shit. Okay. So I totally claim the narrow-mindedness. I could be very narrow-minded at times when my feelings are hurt. But the maliciousness, deceitfulness, vengefulness, a treacherous enemy, an ill-tempered person. Don't get yourself caught up with someone just because I'm saying that this lesson is going to circle back around. It might not even be the original person that you identified. This might be a completely different person who has a much more malicious method to help you learn your lessons. Okay. Be careful on that. Definitely be careful on that. Be careful on that. Wow. That's hard. That's definitely a hard thing. That's definitely, wow. I'm like trying to assess what that means. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I want to know. I don't think I want to know. I just need to know that there's a potentiality for something malicious. That's all I need to know. And if I find myself standing in front of that bridge, I'll deal with it then. But I'm going to just live my life and continue growing myself, continue really trying to learn what I'm supposed to learn in this life. I'm not going to wait for that to happen, because sometimes when you wait for those types of things to happen, oh, good God. For some of you, if you're involved in a third-party circumstance where you have met someone you identified as a divine counterpart, and they're already in their own relationship, and you're waiting for that to come back, it might come back in a different form, meaning their significant other might be what comes back. There's a potential, and this is why I fucking don't go on people's profiles. I'm telling you. It might be that maybe you're doing some social media observation. Stop. Social media observations, and you accidentally do something where it's clear that you're stalking. Don't be surprised if I don't think it's going to resonate for everyone, but don't be surprised if the significant other pops off at you. Like, don't be surprised about that. And you can't be like, oh, because their karmic is so wicked and yada, yada, yada. Yeah, fuck, why did I look at these cards? Okay. I'm talking about they're going to pop off at you. You're going to be receiving some heat. I would leave it alone. I would definitely leave it alone. Leave it alone. Let people live their lives. And if that life living doesn't include you, respect that, just really leave it alone. After the storm, this tells me that there's going to be one hell of a shit storm. Again, this is not for everyone, okay? This is not a message for everyone. This is a message that's coming forward. If you're going to allow yourself to, enter into that realm of like shitstormish environment, you're going to be hit with shit for real, for real. So card number 36, listening for truth. I think a lot of this has to do with an exercise of you learning to trust your intuition. You don't have to go and run and check for confirmation. Maybe you've been already getting intuitive hits regarding your individual, and you need proof. You need to see proof. Why does this keep popping up like that? You need to see proof. You need to, all of this stuff. That's what's going to get you in trouble. That's not curiosity. That's lack of faith in self. That's doubting your intuition. So when your intuition gives you certain blips, to me, it's usually just heads up. Like, hey, don't freak out, okay? This, and this is going to happen. This is part of your learning. Don't freak out. Don't shut down. And it's not like to try and make it come to fruition either. So just be careful about how you utilize the information your soul gives. It's very, very important. All right, guys, I got to get going. Thank you for sharing this space with me. If you could please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. If you're watching this recorded, please leave a comment. Bye.